welcome back, everybody. Hey, nobody, whoever's listening. Episode 5, Sit and Spin. We're here. Record boy, don't drink when we listen to it. Episode 5, Sit and Spin. I'm joined here once again by my good friend Dany. This is a show where we like to sit back, relax, listen to a record, unwind, slow it down. We just kind of dig into either the record itself or the music that's being portrayed in it. But specifically, want to dig in a little more to, vinyl, what it is that this record holds at this place in time. If it's a modern record, we really kind of discuss, why listen to it on vinyl as opposed to this is a 1976. This is just how this shit came out, Get in line or don't listen to it, man.
About the most vintage feel so far. 5 episodes in.
Absolutely.
The other ones were all, post 2000 something.
I did a Billy Joel, but you weren't here. Yeah, I was just
AFK
trying to mess around with the editing stuff. So, but this is definitely right in the same ballpark a little bit before that one that came out. We're doing Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life,
classic
1976 release, part of the Tamla record label, which is a subsidiary of the Motown record. So this is coming out of Michigan. Grew up right in the Detroit borders there, as well as yourself. So I definitely want to, on this podcast, give as much tribute and as much love to Detroit and Michigan and the music scene that doesn't get nearly enough love, even to this day.
There's no better place to start.
Yeah. Let's start with a classic that everybody loves, Stevie Wonder. So,
he's the best.
Now, I don't want to hear any shit about his 1976. Berry Gordy already left Michigan and said, California sunlight, baby, I'm out of here. So these are definitely California vibes. This is, Stevie
recorded at Crystal Studios in Hollywood or whatever.
Where was it?
Recorded in Crystal Studios in Hollywood, California. So,
okay.
And then other recordings in California as well.
Okay.
West Coast, some Tennessee,
part.
I think. But
but Stevie
not
Wonder,
in Hitsville, not in Motown.
It doesn't have the magic of the room, if you've taken that tour, if you know some of that Motown.
Highly recommend the Hitsville USA.
Room, the magic
Sorry to
rooms.
just talk about it right away. It was just so cool.
It is. Talk about it right away. Go ahead.
Go to Hitsville USA. I don't know where it is. It's right next to Heidelberg Project with the pinned.
Not like right next to it, but
nearby,
right down there in Detroit.
But it's cool. They show you a piece of the Standing in the Shadows of Motown documentary in the beginning, which is great. So definitely check that out if you want like a
full Motown.
Yeah, good scope. It's like the a documentary about the background musicians that didn't get their dues and all that stuff, but it's just cool looking at Motown. But anyways, no, they have like the Hitsville USA, like there's the hole cut in the wall where they
still
snap
kind of preserved.
And stuff. Yeah, it's
cool. It's a great thing.
But they did not use that.
Yeah, none of this was done there. Yeah, as close as we'll have to get a record and do it that is more for Detroit. So, but Stevie Wonder's from Saginaw. You told me that. I was like, maybe it was more of a
I could
Detroit
double check.
neighbor.
I'll double check just to make use of this while we talk about it.
Yeah, go right ahead. But he captures so much that hits on every human level in the whole album. So obviously timeless. This is an album that before I discovered it personally, it was explained to me that this is an album that it'll transcend time. Like if we play it now today, listen to it, it hits on every single song hits on something you've experienced, to a little granular level, or just, the broad image of what we're all caught up in.
Yeah. Without looking too much into it, like that's what he wanted to convey recording it.
Sure.
He just wanted to make literally a song, an album about just life and its complexities and yada, yada. Yeah. So, it was titled something else. I forgot what it was called in the beginning, but it was something else, like something about life. It also had life in the title, and then it became Songs in the Key of Life, which is awesome. I think
it's great, yeah. I don't know. Now, he didn't write all the songs, if any songs. It was somebody else, somebody Bird. I can't remember, maybe James Bird or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. He did write a good chunk, but
it doesn't mean that he definitely doesn't portray them, vocally. Hits every emotion. What the man doesn't have in sight, he definitely lacks insight. He makes up in evoking in emotion in that voice.
The instrumentation, which was a lot of it was him. So supposedly over 130 artists are involved in making the album, but he plays so many instruments. He doesn't just play the harmonica or the keyboard. He plays the drums as well, and then he can play guitar, I believe, and bass. So it's just really cool. I
definitely know him on like the surface level of keyboard player and vocalist. So like the fact that he's doing all of that is like, damn. It's
awesome.
I saw a recording of him playing. Oh man, I may be wrong exactly if it was this, but I'm pretty sure it was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They did this show that was like, I don't know, I want to say like 6 hours in like 2009, 2010, something like that. But he played then, and he's
played
older.
The whole album, right? Or no?
He didn't play the whole album, but he played, some of the hits off of it, stuff like that. So definitely seeing him play older, he doesn't lack. He's kept up with it too. You know what I mean? So it's not like I've seen Artie. I saw like Willie Nelson. The man was old and he was past his bedtime. You know what I mean? I saw Styx. All them boys were old. You know what I mean? They needed the Metamucil and go to bed. So I've seen some older stuff, but him even playing that, I was like, damn, he's still got it. Slows it down, his own rhythm. Love it.
I've seen him with Bill Withers. Was it? He brought Bill Withers out and he sat him down next to him and he did "Ain't No Sunshine." That was awesome, and he was older then too, and like. So like the Hall of Fame that you're referencing, just at 38 years old, so so young, and like he's still going. Yeah. You bring him out. I forgot.
Stevie's still alive, right? Stevie's still alive. No, yeah, okay, I thought so. Yeah.
Just put the nail in the coffin. No, he came out for, I believe, was it, not to be ignorant, but like it was Aretha Franklin's ceremony, right? They brought him out and he played As, which was on this album.
As
and it was, I remember, and it was the first time I heard that song, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I need to listen to it. So another reason I'm happy we spun this on the old vinyl player there, because that one was on it. 7-minute journey, as there were a lot of the tracks on here were like 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes.
Outro
like,
City, man.
Let me give beginning, middle, and end, for everything.
Such an auditory journey for sure.
Yeah, he was super old coming out and playing As, and still kicking ass.
Didn't even sound different, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Did not sound any different. It's awesome.
This is really cool. It comes alive, yeah.
So that's cool, yeah. But no, that one, definitely one of my favorites on the album. There's a lot of cool little tidbits, like once again, while just listening and not looking too much into it. But the most important one, I guess, is that you're missing a couple, I guess. What's missing from
so I'll talk a little bit about that. So specifically with this pressing,
there's two. It's a double LP, so that for beginners like me, that means there's two. What's the length?
Right, two 12-inch
vinyls, which makes up the album. Yep. But then,
so it's a 4-sided album. Then there's a bonus LP, which is a 45-inch record. I'm missing that. I got this record set. I want to say Garage Sale or Salvation Army. Might have even been just a hand-me-down. Like my dad got a better version, and he gave me this one.
Yeah,
and that's why he's got the better version. So mine says Merry Christmas 1976. So this was somebody's joyful morning one time.
Maybe Stevie Wonder wrote that.
Yeah, maybe Stevie wrote it. Yeah, he's got great penmanship, if that's the case. But
that's fucked up now that I think about it. When I say
I know, it is. It's great. So yeah, this has been through the ringer. To the point of like we're like on the second or third track on the first side, and it was skipping, and it was a deep enough cut on my records.
Definitely, like I said, the most vinyl we've used and played thus far. The crackling, which was awesome, I don't mind at all.
Sure,
but the skipping a couple times, it only happened like 3 times, and it was only on the first record, I think, and then one on the.
And one was a shallow enough cut that I was able to just kind of tap the record player and it skipped. So it was like some of those shallow ones you could get around
CD player lazily. Style,
yeah.
Past it now, but vinyl to CD, but no, not anymore. But yeah, so there's like a booklet too, a lyric booklet, 24 page or something.
Either. That's what it says online, allegedly. I don't have that either, so maybe digging around, I'll find either a booklet or I'll find another, a lot of times if I go to like a Salvation Army or I go to a state sale or something, got a record to collect, a bunch of junk laying around, you can just you don't even have the records for this, but you got the jackets, so you could find things that are auxiliary to the records themselves, if you're not looking to upgrade the actual LPs.
Yeah. The album cover itself, I see it when I throw it up on Apple Music when I'm playing ads or something like that. Yeah. I'll play way more now. This is the beauty of this, right? Is that I've already a lot of them I knew. So like, I gotta bring it up my phone again, but. You make me weak and knock me off my feet, right? Like that one covered by like Luther Vandross and like all these like, so like I would hear that on Smooth Jazz, like Smooth Jazz, V98.7. So that would play all the time back in the day. So, but that was a cover. So I first heard it from a cover from Luther Vandross, and then there's another guy who covered it. And those are super popular, like back in 96 and 97. But
I definitely think that pushes the infamy and timelessness of the album is not only that it's like, the covers that are, oh my God, that's such a great song. Let me do my version of it, how I can interpret it. But then you've also got the obvious samples. Gangsta's Paradise.
So many rap samples.
That in itself is timeless. Is
Pastime Paradise becomes Gangsta's Paradise. Right. Coolio. Right.
Is Pastime Paradise? Is that original, or is that something that even was
Pastime Paradise? So looking into that because I love the samples, all that, the beats and stuff. That was from a classical song. So back number 2, something or other. So Stevie Wonder
took that,
extrapolated the first 8 notes, it said, to make this. So 8 notes from the calculated.
That's like one of the songs that goes down with,
yeah, the first 8 notes are taken from a classical song. So I was going to listen to that, but I didn't want to while we were spinning the record, but that's cool. So then that becomes...
I'll have to go back and look at that, because I was curious. I was like, is this an original Stevie Wonder thing?
Yeah, and you can hear it.
A lot of it is, but there's so the 8 notes from
that one specifically, you hear like the so it's like they kept the strings, but it probably changed up a little bit. I'm sure it's not that fast. The classical song.
Yeah.
But the notes are the same. But that one sampled by Coolio, I Wish, which was the initial single off of the album, sampled by Will Smith for Wild Wild West.
Oh, yeah, you were kind of singing the Wild Wild West while we were listening to it.
And then that's also, while we were listening to our Les, that's like a great hustle song. So here, locally, we bust out the hustle at every party ever. Yeah. I'm Arab, so we also do other dances, but the hustle...
But the hustle, that's
if you're in any school here... middle school onward, high school, they'll play. If you're at a wedding, they're going to play the hustle. Any DJ here in like Metro Detroit, outward, like plays the hustle. So that I Wish is definitely a hustle song, I believe. As is another Stevie Wonder song. I forget which one it is, but that one is definitely one of them.
Do you hear it at like weddings and stuff like that?
What's that?
You're saying you hear it like weddings?
Oh yeah, if it's a wedding, if it's any kind of party where there is a DJ, maybe with just one speaker or two, or just any kind of setup, like that's a hustle song that gets played. Like when I at work, they have Thursday dance parties, and when they do the hustle night, like or the hustle day or whatever, that's one of them. Steve Wonder's always playing. So, but I Wish is definitely check out the Wild Wild West song with the movie.
What's the one about his daughter? I wrote it in here.
Isn't She Lovely? Which is awesome.
Duh. Yeah.
There's some cool vinyl tidbits for that.
That is one that I hear at a bunch of weddings. I've got it.
There you go.
Like a daddy-daughter.
Isn't that...
Slow it down. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things that you just listen in this thing and you're like,
well, listen,
I know it. I've heard it. I've been there. It puts you someplace. It does it without you even knowing you did. You've heard it before,
I might be sounding stupid right now, but it's just like, come on, it's the songs in the key of life. Like it's a realization. I'm having an epiphany, but it's like, come on, his songs are played at weddings. He's got a bunch of heartbreak songs that we're going to get to here. Like
you can play in
he's got the happy birthday song. It's not on here, but like he is the epitome of like any moment in life you have where music is applicable. He probably has a song that applies to that.
To that emotion
which is awesome. Feeling, So, but Isn't She Lovely, which everybody knows. Come on,
everyone.
I don't care if you're in Detroit, out of Detroit. You know that song. Yeah. No single cut initially because it was a tribute to his daughter Aisha Morris. I think.
That's what you said. These are all those audio samples in the background where his baby.
In the beginning, the intro is like her crying during the childbirth or like after the childbirth, which is crazy. And then in the outro and
it might be the child because that's the lyrics he says like in the first.
It's right after she came out. Yeah, it's crazy. Shortly after. Who
wouldn't know? Yeah.
And then he's giving her a bath in the middle in the outro, but he refused to shorten it because it was a tribute to her. So they couldn't release it on the little, the jukebox ones that I'm starting to really love. I really want a 45. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he wouldn't release it on the 45 because he kept the original. length, which is 6 minutes and 33 seconds. So
yeah, it is one of those.
A year later,
ballads.
in like January of '77, Tamla, the
production company.
Yep,
here.
they released a 3 minute and 12 single cut. So that's the one everybody listens to on the radio. But the one we listen to, as the other ones are, just long. It's like a journey. There's a beginning, a middle, outro. You hear her. You literally hear her being born, and then it's like, wow, isn't she
lovely? Growing up, and she's playing in the tub, and he's talking to her. So she's obviously 3, 4 when they start learning. Yeah,
hey, she is responding with more than just babbles. Like
he's been holding on to those feelings and that song. Yeah, those are great edits in there. So for sure, especially those samples that he uses that are there's something I love in like modern rap where they use like not every time, but when they use like voicemails or maybe they get like a payphone call or something on the old 80s rap,
something that wasn't recorded from a computer or instrument.
Yeah, it's such a real cut that you're like, ooh, that just makes the story so much realer. There's just some more texture to it as opposed to like, all right, we got the sample, we flipped this thing that somebody else did, that's a banger. Print. Let's go to the next one. That makes it more of a story cut. Yeah.
I love anything in the background. I know it's weird, but like voices, a crowd. Like when we do, we were gonna
chatter.
We don't have it now, but like when we do Marvin Gaye.
Yeah,
he uses crowds all the time in the background. I love crowds, just in the background, like just chattering. You hear glasses clinking and stuff.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So when we do the Marvin Gaye one, I'm definitely gonna keep just bringing that up. But all the stuff in the background.
One, or if you find one, let me know. We'll take the podcast mobile over to your collection. We'll spin one over there. But the only Marvin Gaye that I personally have is just a hits of the collection of the Motown hit classics. So I should get the
I'll save it for the podcast. Yeah, but there's a reason why I love it so much is because I had a listening of it. Like there was a listening party, quote unquote, where I heard the whole thing and fell in love with it.
I would love to dig into those stories, definitely on that record. So definitely be on the lookout for the Marvin Gaye album that we do. We're trying to do as many.
We'll search for
Detroit, and we started on an easy one, because everyone loves this album. We're doing a little bit of these cakewalk ones because what else can we do but praise this album? Is real easy.
Of course,
some of the more local Detroit artists we'll get into. Yeah, obviously. So
no, but no joke. We should go to the record store after. I don't know when they close. COVID hours, but
I'll see what they do. If they let us go in.
It'll be awesome.
What time is it?
I don't know, man.
You don't know. I don't know.
6 o'clock on the dot.
6 o'clock.
Time.
Man,
we just stamped the podcast in
that's fine. Yeah,
but speaking of other artists, Herbie Hancock was on this. He played the guitar.
Okay.
For
which song was that? Yeah.
As one of my favorites. So he played the keyboard, not guitar. My bad. Which was awesome. So I told you it's rare because Stevie Wonder, like if he didn't play the instrument, he wrote it. So it's cool. He knew all of that stuff. So he'll have somebody else play the actual instrumentation, but he wrote the instrumentation itself. But yeah, Herbie Hancock is sweet. In the 2000s, later on, he does hip hop. He is related to hip hop. In a way, because he does features. He's done features with like Christina Aguilera and stuff. So it's cool. Like a dude from the 70s who played the keyboard on As and was like, I don't know if he's a Motown guy.
I don't know if Herbie is. About that. Yeah, I'd have to double check on that.
But it's cool. Like I definitely know him, and just to see that he played the keyboard on that, one of my favorite ones.
It's crazy, like those like weaving tales of like who is related to who and who's worked with who, and it's not just. Just country artists work with country artists, and just rock guys work with rock guys, and hip hop guys with hip. It's very like I like Rick Rubin, that guy is one of the people that's like, hey, I touched this and this, and he's literally like an S, all through music history. I definitely
feel like is another good example.
Elton John, whether
he does not, he loves Young Thug, he loves Eminem, like they're friends, like it's cool. So, but oddly enough, we've only done 5 episodes, but that's maybe one of the points of this show is that for As just the themes and the things he's talking about. So this reminded me of the RX episode because he's got a line in there that says, "Just as hate loves the cure." It keeps going. It's part of the whole, it's very preachy, the whole thing, which is awesome. Of course, the religion is part of it.
That almost sounds like it's an RX.
That's what I'm saying. That's they literally say that in one of the songs, and it's awesome because like one of the themes is like love holds like true power.
True.
throughout this. Like, that's one of the themes of life and stuff like that. That's what he's trying to get across, as sad as a lot of the songs are.
Yeah. Well, every single sad song has a looking to tomorrow message.
It does. Yeah.
There's a even though he gets cut on a lot of them and he gets really heart deep. Like, I love this one. What's track 7? You got the title there?
Oh, man. I got it out of here. Yeah, but, show me 1, 2.
What he says...
Pastime Paradise?
Yeah, okay. I was like, I wrote it down, but...
That one is... Okay, I got something for you.
My favorite line, and that literally was the only line that I wrote down for the album, was, I reach out for the part of me that lives in you. Like, that is so... Nobody can see that as the same definition.
It's deep. It's so deep.
Per person. So that was the one that really reached out to me. And to me, like, after he says that, and after he moves forward with the I've been hurt message, you're right, there's always an uptail at either the end of the song. Well, almost
that
all
in
the
itself
end of the song.
is uplifting.
Who did the woman outro? I wrote Shirley Brewer. She had that outro on Ordinary Pain. But, because that one was such a deep, everything was cuts and everything's deep and it masked the pain. But that was a 2-part song because of the third verse, it was all, what's her name, Shirley Brewer here.
Yeah.
That girl is going in, dude. They paint her as a villain. She is seeking a vengeance. So that is the only song that I felt like was like, not only is Stevie hurting and not only is he, talking about this pain, that it doesn't even end with all of his positive uplifting that he does in so many of the other ones. That one's just like, oh, and she's out. Like, shit, she just shitted on him. Yeah.
And that one, like, is ordinary pain, and he says it a lot, and then he says necessary pain, which is like, man, that's so deep. Like, it is necessary pain, and it's like, that's the message, I guess, in his key of life, is that everyone has to go through the heartbreak and all that, which is, you really have to. If you're someone who's...
1976, speaking about progress, like, we're still talking about it today, like, we haven't moved the needle,
But yeah, that one is sad. The same thing with the last song. I thought, like, so we just did Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying last episode, and we went out with Surfing. You make my way, baby. He's going out, he's saying, hey, I'm back. I did the rehab stuff or whatever, Kid Cudi. I'm better than ever. It's cool. It's upbeat. There is no down part to it. He doesn't even mention that part. He just says, I'm doing good. Onward.
Yeah.
The last song is just so sad at the beginning. Like, it's like, I don't know. It was just talking about the breakup and heartbreak again. But then there was the outro. The second half of the song got so upbeat. Yeah. And then it became very uplifting. So, common theme of the whole album.
If it wasn't for the length of the last song and that repetitive outro, I wouldn't have thought it was the last song, but I almost was like,
it feels like more to this album.
There should be some more of this album. Yeah.
The only one I'm not jiving with is the second one. About praying for God.
Praying for God. I look at a lot of the God stuff as metaphorically, I really like the pairing of 1 and 2 because you put this album on and it starts off.
The first one is solid.
Love, love begets love. That's what harvests love. That's what manifests love is more love. And that transitions into slow down, have a talk with God. So if you may not be a God person, you may be a different religious person, you may be a no religious person. I think listening to it with 1 followed by 2, it's not as like, you're not jiving with it because you're not much of a God guy. So that's fine. You may not, but I think coupled with 1, with it tailing in on that, you can see the slow down and the reach out to your spiritual self. Yeah, I can appreciate that
part of it. Like the whole,
that's what I
connect
really
with
do
something else other than what you've been going through in life and all that stuff.
Yeah. I just like that. I wrote, what did I write? Opening 2 timeless messages of healing. Oh yeah, I just like that. Healing and God harmonized at the top.
It was good.
Because the third song, the first 2 songs were like harmony together. Whereas like the third song
breaks. It becomes like a different part
symphony.
Of life.
Yes, and
it was very beautiful.
It was
beautiful
so symphonic, but it was like listen to the lyrics, man.
The lyrics are timeless, of course. He's talking about politicians screwing over the working man, all that good stuff. Still reminds me of yet another episode we just did. Once again, only 5 episodes in, but
it's just this theme so fucking much.
It all relates. It's like the Village Ghetto Land, and it reminds me of the Kendrick and Damn and all that. What was the other? Man, one of them reminded me of Lust so much.
Because of the love portion of it, or was it just like because he's not very raw sexually. Lust gets a little raw.
No, not like the repetition of life and like just doing the same thing over again. What was the one I was saying? I think it might be Pastime Paradise.
Pastime Paradise.
Yeah, okay. So that one is cool. The producer little tidbit is that's the first song made with like, made like digital strings with a Yamaha.
Oh,
made to sound like real strings.
Okay,
so yeah, that's a first.
I did kind of know that about this album. That was one of the things that I learned through hip hop. Looking back, because this was so sampled so many times, that this was one of the. Is this the first album that did the 808s on it?
I don't know about
that specifically, but
there were only a couple.
Well, I did know that this was one of the very first albums that went into like that.
Passing Paradise. You could hear it because it's like. Like it sounds real, but you can nowadays past the 70s and the 2020s you can hear like, oh man, that's a digital.
Clearly,
that dude made that on Logic.
Yeah,
the Logic prototype. Yeah. But no, that one is cool because he just talks about like being a kid and in the past and wanting to go back to that. Literally, Pastime Paradise, like that just slaps you in the face. But then he says like future paradise. So he's like saying instead of thinking about your childhood and living in that pastime paradise, like look towards the future paradise, which is a huge theme of like, you reap like whatever the quote about planting. I was gonna say that one. It's like planting a tree and you're never gonna see the fruits of it. Like your kids are gonna see that. So like that's a huge message in this. Is like
you may not harvest don't worry the fruits about of your labor, but if you're planting the seeds for the future generation.
Exactly, and that's what he's saying. Like you should be living in the future paradise. Like even if you look back, he looks back and he is fond of his childhood, as I'm sure like everyone could find one fond memory or whatever. But like if it was bad for you, don't look on that like pastime. Look to the future paradise where you could do something to make it better for everybody else. Yeah, which is really cool.
Did you on I Wish? That was one that really made me think of like because he talks about going to the principal's office and all that kind of stuff. Because he's
even though Kendrick related one, man. Yeah, I'm telling you,
he may talk about the future a lot, but in a good chunk of these, he's still reminiscent about the past. Saying, it's kind of a mixed message. Thanks, Stevie.
That's a great one, and that's like what better way to that was the I thought it was the initial single. It was the initial single, but it's like what better way to say like, hey, this is my album about life than to be like, dang, the first thing you can hit on with any human being is like nostalgia. It's like one of my favorite feelings. Like, dang, you just remember about the good old times. So it's like, of course, I wish I was about, in a school in the hallways. I'm getting in trouble with the principal. Sure, like sign me up. Better than the rest of the album's themes.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, even if it's like he gets a little granular, and I wish about like the principal office, getting caught with the girl, playing doctor. That's one of the lines. What was it?
But that one is cool because also a lot of Eminem has the song like I don't know, but it's the repetition. Like I wish this, I wish that. Instead of like it's like I wish this, I wish that. There's this one. I wish I was a ball. I wish it was a shot call or whatever. Like it's a great I don't know if anyone did it before. This is a classic pop album. Like it set so many precedents. So if there was something before the '70s where someone listed,
it's like a caller. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah.
No, but it's cool to have like he has that like song structure before it was a thing in like hip hop and all that stuff. Like,
I think a lot is taken from this currently still, and after it was released there,
like Fear or whatever the Kendrick song where he's like, you better eat your pizza, I beat your ass. Like if I hear you talking to Keisha, I beat your ass. Like so, it's like it's the same thing. Like instead of reminiscing badly upon it, some lines were, but most of it is like, dang. Talking about your childhood things you did.
The one that it didn't shock me, but I know I've heard it before. But there's something about what we're doing here: sitting down, listening to the records, putting the cans on, either listening to it on the monitor. However, we're focus. It's not passively listening in the car. It's not at the gym. It's on shuffle.
Yeah. Like we referenced last time.
I've heard this album probably a dozen times. I wouldn't say like it's more than a dozen probably growing up, but I mean like probably in the last 5 years I've put it on a dozen times. Hey, I'm going somewhere. Oh, that's a great one. I love that album. by the second half of the album, I'm either to my destination. I've tuned out. I haven't really.
I was just gonna say that. I tried
Yeah.
doing that. Once I heard "As" after the Aretha Franklin ceremony, I was like, all right, let me check this out. I love Stevie Wonder. That's
He
what's
just
so
didn't get all the way to it,
and that's what's so great about this. But
Yeah.
what's so shitty about me is like, oh man, I love music so much.
Yeah.
I've never heard songs in the key of life fully through. Like, damn, I've tried, but I've only made it. It's 17 songs as
Right.
it is. So you make it through a few, and then it's like, man, then you get lost in like the funk, which is like the same way I feel with like Talking Heads and stuff like that. Like it just becomes a mirage of like fucking instruments and just drums hitting left and right. And
It's like a valley of bullshit in between the peaks of the hits. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's
not
what a lot of
for
records
this
feel
one,
like.
not even
Not
too.
for this one.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I'm
awesome.
saying.
All the instrumentation, it's awesome. But yeah, so to be sitting down like this, it's awesome. This is admittedly my first time fully through listening to it. So very appreciative of this.
I didn't catch everybody on the list, but for Black Man, that one was
Black Man is awesome.
no, he didn't leave anybody out. It was the title was Black Man, and he didn't just talk about black people. He talked about everybody. He talked about Native Americans, talked about Asian culture.
That was very cool.
He even talked about white people in it. But I've heard that song before, but I've never just like sat and listened to the list and like sat and listening to this list and looking at the lyrics while I'm listening to it. I was like, damn, a lot of shit's been done. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a great song to timelessly capture that, you know?
Yeah.
I can't tell you any song in the last 5 years, maybe a decade, but in the last 5 years where it's like, here's a list of accomplishments. Let me make a song of a list of this is a great way. It's harmonized. It's great. Yeah, exactly. The kids at the end was like you said Pink Floyd when we were talking about it. It's very much like
it's funny. It's
we
cool.
Don't need no
it makes when you get a bunch of kids, it
education.
makes for a good choir effect.
We need the education, the proper education.
We learned.
The truth and the
we
facts.
were educated.
Yeah.
I was joking around about the whole like Arab thing, but it reminded me of like there's in Dearborn there's the Arab American National Museum.
Okay.
And like they have a wall of like, okay, this dude is an immigrant, like Arab American immigrant.
Yeah.
And he did this, and like Ralph Nader is on there because
really?
he's,
I
like,
didn't know he was,
somewhat Middle Eastern. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
cool, and it's like the same thing. Like every culture should be proud of people who invented. I mean, they named off the goddamn stoplight, but like, a black man invented the stoplight.
Black man invented the stoplight.
Thank
Give
you.
that man props and be proud of that
it's
in
cool,
the black community, or part of that is I'm glad stoplights exist.
Right.
Period. So thanks whoever made it. But I'm happy.
And at the end of it, it was very much like, not to make it all political, but it was like like everybody matters.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how he brought it up.
Not copyright, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like he's saying like, hey, we're all equal. We're all equal.
Exactly that. Cool. Yeah, that was definitely
there's no
like
need to separate
whole of the song, even though it might be Black Man as the title. I was like, well, that's honestly only a quarter of the song. He's talking about everybody. He's talking about all people. So I'm just that was definitely awesome. I was like, what's the title of this? And I was like, maybe not the title I thought it was going to be. I mean, I thought just listening to it be like all people. Yeah. But man, I do like that song. I thought it was great.
One of the things that I realized now listening to it, which has always come up in his songs, is the calendar theme that he goes with. So in Summer Soft,
I love
which
that.
is a seamless transition from Pastime Paradise, which was awesome. I love a transition where you don't, just cut right into it. And it was a bird transition, which he also uses a lot. So he uses two things, like nature-y sounding things, birds, a lot of chirping. And then seasons, man, the calendars. He's like, okay, so one of the first things that I just blanked out.
Of course.
One of the first things that you learn, I guess, in school is like, okay, the months of the year. Like literally, there's a song that's always in my head. It's crazy, like months of the year, whatever. But January to December. So he uses.
What song is that? Like, I mean, you don't have to do the whole thing, but like, what's the melody or whatever?
It's like it's very like kindergarten type shit. It's
one.
like January, February, and March, and it goes through all of them. And it's like that's how
I didn't learn that one, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah, and it's like these are the months of the year. Fill them with joy and with cheer. It's like
so
it's very like uplifting and shit like that. So he takes like, I know it's silly, but he takes these lyrics and it's like he's like, and October's come and he talks about April in there and he talks about summer and it then goes to like a girl, and then it goes to the seasons again.
Yeah,
but
very slightly girl on this one. All the other ones, it's
but
like
the seasons are like very symbolic, and it's like,
yes,
what better way to convey this? It's like besides like shapes and colors, it's the most basic way of like conveying something to like if you say like, man, like it feels like June in here, like, oh, it's hot. It's for you. Nobody needs to, I guess here at least, but everybody knows what June is and stuff like that. It's just cool that. Yeah. In other songs, I can't remember if we were doing the greatest hits one, the birds and the calendar theme would come up way more. But like, I can't recall off the top of my head right now. But it's really cool that he uses like, oh God, what am I thinking? It's the I'll always not always love you. It's the
think of it. I like specifically Summer Soft when he talks about the winter, because if anybody's gonna know about the winter, is a boy from Saginaw. Grew up in that. It's Saginaw or North. You could talk to me about winter all you want.
Yeah, that piqued your interest that he was born in Saginaw, and you were like, "We're talking about that."
Yeah, like, I can relate. It's close. I like relating to music.
Been there.
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's cool.
Yeah, and it's geographically, even if these songs weren't necessarily written in Michigan by a Michigan person or anything like that. The way he's invoking them are going to be from where he grew up. So, I mean, if that's where he grew up, I'll listen to any weather song about him, man. I understand the weather here.
Yeah. I remember, too, by the way. Good stall. Yeah. I just called to say I love you. Like, he goes through the months. Like, I just called. No New Year's Day to celebrate. No wedding in the something May. No August bloom. Like, there you go. That rounds off the calendar theme. Yeah. That's his. Yeah. No, but like that, it's really cool. Like, it's a very basic way lyrically to convey any type of message.
Yeah, it's almost as basic as just counting 1 to 10 and making a song about that. But like, there's a magic that Stevie Wonder's got that Barry Gordy saw.
But yeah, it's nice. It's a nice way of the symbolism is awesome. Man, the heartbreak I don't want to talk about. The sad songs
they're just too
I'm
sad.
Scrolling through like a few of them. Ordinary Pain, we touched on that one. It's just
I wrote oh, that was the one with the girl at the end. Yeah. I liked Shirley Brewer.
Oh, here's another little tidbit when we skip, man. Yeah. This should be right off the top of the head.
With Sir Duke. Dude. Otherwise we'll
so like Sir Duke Ellington passed away.
Oh, I know.
Right
number 3
before
Sir
the
Duke.
album. Not right before, but like recently.
No, 1974. He died in 1974.
So the Sir Duke was a tribute.
The recording of the album was 74 to 76. This was pressed in 76 and released that time. So yes, when he started recording this, Duke Ellington did die.
So 74. Sir Duke, he said he knew what the title was going to be, but then he wanted it to be a tribute to him, Duke Ellington, and then all the other artists that influenced him in his life. Either it's like 5 people maybe. But it's awesome. Obviously, like when I was younger, listening to that, I didn't know, but it's cool to have that.
I like learning about some of that stuff now.
I remember, so it was that's the second tribute, I guess, first or second, which is one that would be the other one being Isn't She Lovely to his daughter.
Yeah.
So it's cool that it's songs in the key of life. It's about his life and he's everybody else's life, or like through the message, but his life, what's the most important to him? His daughter, one tribute song.
Exactly.
And then Duke Ellington and all the other people influenced him to be the greatest. One of the greatest artists around.
I would say that's probably the song I'm most familiar with is Isn't She Lovely on this album, just because of hearing it at weddings, montage of memories. It's such a
even
song
if you're
that
a kid, honestly, and you're like 2 or 3 running around at the wedding, like you probably just heard that song. I would say Sir Duke and Isn't She Lovely are the top 2.
Top in there as well, Is Sir Duke, does that sound like Duke Ellington's music? Like, I'm familiar with Duke Ellington more of like as the image, the suits, the guitar, all that kind of stuff.
Let me look it up before I sound like a fool. Yeah, but I thought that Duke. I know. Obviously, there are a lot of famous jazz artists that are the trumpet is their main instrument, but
piano player. I thought maybe he was a guitar player, so maybe I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, it wasn't
Duke Ellington.
I would say that. I
feel like there's a cartoon show where he's like a dead person. Like they're like, that's the ghost of Duke Ellington, and he just like plays that. Yeah, type in a Duke Ellington cartoon ghost.
Big Mouth.
Oh yeah, see, okay, so I am sort of familiar with him. Yeah, he's portrayed in this. Yeah, he lives in somebody's attic. I can't remember who it is. I'd have to go back. But that's on Netflix. You go watch that crap yourself. But yeah, I was like, I for some reason am familiar with Duke Ellington recently. Oh, that's great.
No, yeah. So that tribute song is cool. I would say for a pick for me for the hearing it for the first time, like coolest song. Literally, not one memory of it would be Contusion. I believe it was the third one.
Oh, that was all
really cool.
Instrumental, right?
Yeah, it was all instrumental. Sounded like a Wolfpack song.
Yo, we can get into Wolfpack anytime on this show.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's definitely like that, and it sounds like something that could have just come out today. Like, you know, obviously you could say, okay, that this is an influence or song, a type of song that people are influenced by, but yeah, it sounded very fresh and modern. It was awesome. I liked it, and instrumental. So
it was all instrumental. Yeah, I was
in a song for me personally about life, gotta have an instrumental song.
Absolutely,
I love instrumentals.
It's good transition.
All that good stuff. The producing and all that stuff is just, you know.
And there's nothing to focus on but the music. So, like, that's the one where you really get to close your eyes and just, like, you're painting your own picture on this one, man. Like, everybody's, you know, translating this one way differently.
There's one that stands out from the rest a lot.
Which one?
I can't say the beginning, but the American, Jesus Christ.
The one that was, like, in Spanish,
pathetic.
right?
The English title, yeah. I Am Singing. But yeah, the first language, I don't know what it is, but then it's Spanish and then it's English. There's 3 different languages, which is an awesome structure for a song once again.
Yeah.
But there's synth strings in there that just sound great. The lyrics are super uplifting. I didn't write them down, but
stuff,
exactly. There you go. Like the let's do it for the children, all that type of stuff. But no, that was cool. They had really great instrumentation there as well.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Down it.
I'm at the end there. No, my throat's a little scratchy. So drink some water here, a little water into the mic.
Yeah, obviously we're gravitating towards songs or albums that have messages.
Sure,
because
we're just kind of doing softball ones because they're
to talk about. Yeah, but it's like
we'll dig into some granular stuff later.
It's cool. I don't know really how to convey it perfectly, but it's like, man, it's already been said.
We're not saying anything
listen
new.
Listen to it on vinyl with the crackles and the pops.
Hopefully,
and stuff.
I'll get an update with the 45. I'll slap that 45 in my jukebox. That will be nice.
Very cool. But yeah, man, we could do a greatest hits, and maybe 2 of these songs would be on there. Yeah, and he'd have 15 more.
So many more. Yeah, Stevie,
we could just cover.
Just a timeless, you know.
Yeah, one of my favorite artists.
Being a Michigan native, thank you for helping the Motown label be as legendary as it is. Thank you for helping make Berry Gordy a shitload of money. Thank you for songs in the key of life, man. Thank you for this music, Stevie.
Definitely something I'll be playing to my kids, man. I remember listening to this in middle school, like in 7th grade on a CD player. Listening to his greatest hits album. I forget which one it is.
I would say I would definitely heard greatest hits or the songs at weddings and things like that. I think the first time I really sat down with this album had to be about 5 years ago. It was like, because I just heard it sampled on other things, and it was like, what is this sampled on? Stevie Wonder. What is this a sample? Stevie Wonder. Just kept all roads led back to Stevie Wonder. So this one was like one of his most legendary albums, you know. You said it was his 18th album?
That 18th album, man. Crazy. 18th album in 76. Born in 1950. So by 26 years old, he had almost as many albums.
I don't even have 5 episodes of a podcast done yet. This man's already on his 18th album.
This is the one, Song Review, a greatest hits collection. This is the CD that I had because my dad got it. Remember when you used to have like Columbia House?
Oh, yeah.
And you would order those. So we got this because it's like, man, we're getting the most bang for your buck. Like, I'm not just getting one Stevie Wonder album, I'm getting the compilation.
All the good ones.
So we had a lot of these, the white cover album one right here, which is awesome. So like the songs, can you click on it? Awesome. So this is what I listened to like in middle school, and I remember
Master Blasters, Superstition.
Yeah, all of these.
Gosh, yeah, these are so good.
So I remember I would listen to this, and I would go at Wolf Middle School, and my history teacher would be like, "What are you listening to?" And I'd say, "Hey, Stevie Wonder," and she'd be like, "No, you're not." And she would take the headphones. She'd be like, "Wow, you're listening to Stevie Wonder." Yeah. Superstition or Sir Duke would be playing or whatever. But no, it's cool. It's cool.
For once in my life,
listen to it, play it for somebody. Tell us what you think about it.
Yeah. I'll have to look up another Detroit record, another Motown record, another Michigan record. We'll keep on theme with a lot of the Detroit, Michigan stuff. Yeah, if anybody from Detroit or from Michigan wants to put the record on the podcast, just reach out. Show. Yeah, if you have any recommendations, I have a whole bunch on the shelf that are Detroit
There's
records.
There's more space over here. We're looking at it.
We got extra mics. Come on the show. Anything else you want to add, buddy?
I don't know. Biggest takeaway for you?
For a man who is down 1 cent, he makes up for it in emotion and love way more than that gift of sight would have been.
Yeah,
for
we
him.
didn't even mention that.
Whatever he
crazy,
tapped into without having that, man's got the bigger heart than the Grinch ever had. That amplified heart. No, this guy portrays it. I love it. It's so timeless, and it's not because of just the lyrics or just the song. It's the way it's said. It's the way it's put out. So
I agree.
The man's a legend for a reason. We're not saying anything anybody else hasn't said.
Enough said.
Enough said.
I got nothing else, man. Thanks for having me on again.
Dude, thanks for coming out.
Until next
anytime.
time, if there's a suggestion, maybe we can do one for a fan.
Yeah. We'll see. I might have somebody else on another time, but anytime that you're here, you're welcome to do one. I'm glad that we made the time to hang out. That's definitely part of the slowing down of this, as excuses to hang with friends and explore these.
6:30. Let's see if the record store's open.
Oh yes, let's check it out. Let's go.